Hello everyone, my name is Justin Rogers. We're here at Transwest Truck Trailer RV in beautiful Frederick, Colorado today. Today we're going to be looking at a 2020 Newmar Ventana 4002. It's one of the nice used coaches that we currently have here. Overall pretty good condition, and I'm excited to talk about it today. So we're going to start up here in the front, hit a couple of the outside features today, and then we'll work our way around and then head on inside. So this one was optioned with the flagpole bracket, so if you want to show off some colors, whatever you support and everything like that, you can. On the left and right sides on the front, you'll have cameras. This will help with your blind spots. While backing, driving, anything like that, you'll have a designated monitor inside just for that. If we move down past that a little bit, you'll have a big heavy-duty Newmar grab handle. It does have keyless entry with a doorbell on the bottom. It can be used to unlock the entry door as well as lock and unlock your compartments. Once we get past that a little, this has a dual fill, so what that means is you can fill it on both sides of the motorhome. You don't actually have to worry about what side of the gas pump that you're pulling on. Down here underneath, Newmar actually puts a steel plate under there to protect that fill line. So in case you ever have a blowout, it'll protect that from getting sheared off or damaged and not being able to fill up your motorhome or leaking fuel on the ground. We're gonna look up a little bit here. So this one does have a Carefree awning package as well as the dual Girard Nova awnings. So the door awning just gives you a little bit of shade on the entry as well as a little protection from rain. Over each of the windows, you have one on this side and two on the other. That's gonna block out a little bit more sun, keep it a little cooler inside. They are manual, so you just pull the string, clip them, and then you have shade. As far as the Girard Nova awnings that are mounted to the roof, this one was optioned with both of them, so it covers almost the full length of the coach. They have that pivot point in the center, so it'll help it bring them down a little bit lower just to get that much more patio space because they're mounted so high up for the sun. So we're gonna switch down into the storage base. So this first one is actually a smaller storage tray. It's gonna pull way out so you can access it even when your slide is open. It's kind of a prep for the basement freezer that you can have. The next one's gonna be your main pass-through bay. So this can actually open on both sides of the unit. It'll go over halfway out. That way you can reach all of those items that you stashed way deep in there. While we're under here, we're actually gonna look at the star foundation that's specific to Newmar's. So what that is it's this channel and the bracket above, and then it's mounted to the actual frame of the motorhome. What that does is it actually lifts the floor off of the chassis frame rails and leaves a little gap up there on top. So what that does is it gives it a full length. Helps mitigate vibrations from the road. It helps make it flush mount floor and a little less likely to crack the tiles that run through the length of this coach. This one's going to be a little bit smaller of a storage tray. So it does pull out as well. Up in the top left corner, you're going to have your central vacuum system. So what that's going to be for is that spot right here is for the hose that's inside. You can use it to clean out your storage bays for whatever you keep down here. This next one's gonna be an outside TV. So they actually have it mounted low to the ground. So people that like to have patio chairs and everything set up outside, it's a little bit better of a viewing angle than being mounted halfway up the coach. As we go back here, you can look down between the wheels. That's going to be one of your hydraulic leveling jacks. So you have 4 on it, 2 in the rear, 2 in the front. You'll just hit auto level on the inside. It'll drain the airbags out and then it'll level the motorhome. So it'll make it nice and planted to the ground. So this one is a 40-foot unit. It does have a tag axle. That's kind of when Newmar starts putting tags on their coaches. It's on a Freightliner chassis, so this is going to be a passive steer. rear tag, so it'll turn at about 15 degrees of angle at low speeds. So that'll help you eliminate tire scrubbing and excessive tire wear while you're backing into spaces or trying to make those tighter turns. Up above, you're going to have an egress door. You can access that from inside. It is flush with the coach. So one of the things that Newmar likes to do is flush mounted slides. What that does is it puts the seals inside the walls of the coach, and it helps a lot with wind noise, as well as it helps prevent water from getting in during heavy rainstorms when you're traveling at highway speeds. So this back compartment is going to be chassis stuff. So you're going to have the exhaust down at the bottom. You'll have your 2 chassis batteries up above, the main chassis battery disconnect, and then your brains for your engine. In the back left corner of it, you'll have your Oasis tank. That's going to be the fluid for your Oasis hydronic heater. So back here, you're going to have access to the rear of your engine. This one is a rear mounted radiator. So you'll have your filter minder up there, a plug-in for your OBD2, your OBD sensors, being able to view your levels, and then also check your dipsticks, as well as filling your engine oil back here. So this is going to be a 400 horse Cummins. It's an ISL block, so it's 8.9 liters, and it's about 1,150 pounds of torque, depending on where you're looking at it, where you look it up at. So once we get down below that, you're going to have a connection for Air Force One, air connection. And then you have your hitch. So this motorhome is actually rated to pull 15,000 pounds. And then you'll have, to the right of that, your 7-way connection for your trailers that utilize electric brakes. So while we're back here, if you look towards the top, you're gonna have your rear backup camera. So that can always be on that second monitor as well, whenever you're backing into places. So it's very useful, especially driving a 40-foot motorhome. While you're also up there towards the left corner, that will be the intake for your engine. So the purpose of it being so high is to help get rid of road debris, the dust, the dirt, and the grime that the engine can suck up. Just makes the air that much cooler and a little bit cleaner. So these next two are going to be decently small storage compartments. That right one is going to have an outlet up in the top right corner. That's going to be the plug for your engine block heater, just to make it start up a little bit easier in that colder weather. Next one's going to be your def tank. It is only filled up on this side. It does have a def gauge on the tank itself, and you can also view the def level from inside the coach. Right here you'll have a little storage compartment. You could put tools, sewer hose, whatever you want in that bay that can be messy, dirty, that you don't want to put in your normal storage bays. And if we look up a little bit, you can actually see the other 2 Carefree awnings that are mounted over the windows. And that black tube up there is also going to be your slide-mounted slide toppers. So those will automatically go in and out as you bring the slides in and out. So down here is going to be your water compartment. Everything is clearly labeled, so it's very easy to figure out what each of them does. You do have a hot and cold outdoor shower out here. Your winterization controls are down here, as well as access to your water pump. So if that ever burns up, it's pretty easy to get to and replace on the fly without having to tear apart cabinets and stuff. Your dump drains are all enclosed in here. This does pivot up and down, so if this hole is too close to the ground, you can actually still run your sewer hose outside of it. It does have a whole house water filter on here, and then the fresh water hose is actually mounted on a power cord reel. So they actually put this slot in here so you can keep your compartment closed while having access to your water outside. So this next compartment is going to be your 50 amp. Your cord is actually on a power cord reel as well. And then tied into that is going to be your surge guard. So it is a built-in surge protector as well as the transfer switch. So that's deciding whether you're hooked up to shore power, you have your generator giving it power. It's all controlled through that box. Down below, you're also going to have your cable and satellite hookups. So you would run them through the same slot that you would the power cord reel. The next bay is going to be your Oasis hydronic heating. So that's going to be used for your furnace. You do have 2 zones of control, front and rear for it, as well as it's used for your continuous hot water. One of the things that makes Oasis different is it actually has 2 AC elements in it and a diesel burner, so it can help heat up when it's colder outside, as well as not having to use only the diesel burner. The AC can actually keep up depending on how cold it is outside. This one's going to be the other side of the pass-through storage. This one's going to be your battery bank for the house batteries. So you do have 8 batteries on this one. And it's on a slide tray, so it's actually easier to get in and out and change out those batteries. And off to the right side in here is actually a wiring diagram mounted to the chassis, so you don't ever have to guess where the wires go and how it hooks up to the batteries. This is going to be the other side of the fill. Up front, this is going to be some extra fuses here, and then also some brains, fuses, and everything for the chassis side. You'll have generator controls up here, as well as the pull cord for the access to the generator. And then this is the other camera up front for the left side or the driver's side, depending on how you look at it. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go inside the coach. Alrighty, so let's see. As we're going in, there's actually 2 storage compartments built into the steps. So you could put some easy things or some shoes, anything that you need quick, easy access to. And then this one is quite deep. So while we're in this one, right now I have it completely closed just to demonstrate how accessible it is while it's closed. It's actually pretty easy to walk through this one. You can get back to the bathroom pretty easily. With how they have the hinges set up, it hinges at halfway at the door. It's easy for a larger person to get in here and use the bathroom. And you still have access to the fridge, and if you really need to get to the bed without opening up the slides, you still can. So now we're going to open up the slides to show you what it's like. So when Newmar slides are going out, they actually will extend all of the way and then they'll lower themselves down to help give it that flush floor feel and get rid of the lips that you have with a lot of other manufacturers. So Jody, if you want to rotate up here, we'll go over the controls of this one real quick while we're here. So this left switch is going to be the controls for your door awning. This one is going to be the controls for the 2 Girard Nova awnings. So channel 1 is the front, channel 2 is the rear. You also have some security lights outside, as well as the manual override for the steps to turn them on and off so it's not coming in and out as you close the door. The slide room controls are both going to be here. This panel is going to be your touch panel for the KIB system. It's going to have your tank levels, so you can see, you can turn on and off your water pump, you can top off your fresh tank or set it to autofill. You can see fresh, gray, and black from it. The next one is going to be your HVAC system, so you obviously turn them on and then you can see the 2 separate zones for them. and you can choose whether it's on cool, heat pump, furnace, or off, and then you can also set the fan speeds depending on what you want. Above that, you're gonna have your Magnum Energy auto gen start inverter controls, so you can actually turn on your inverter through here, and it'll, when your generator's not on, it'll turn on your residential fridge as well as some of your outlets. Auto gen start, you would hit that and then work through the settings depending on choosing what voltage you want it to turn on at. The next one over is going to be your Oasis controls, so you can choose whether to have it on burner, AC1, off, or both elements, AC1 and AC2. And the next one's going to be your power management system. So what that's going to be is telling you how much power you have it coming in and where it's kind of going. At the very top of that bay, you have a Winegard Traveler controls up there, and then you also have the Wi-Fi, the Ranger setup up there. So it's kind of a Wi-Fi booster. So up here, you'll have a little bit of storage, depending on what you want to keep up there. In the passenger seat up here, you'll actually have little footrests for the passenger, so you don't have to have your feet dangle if you don't want to. Your seat controls are also going to be here. And then there's more seat controls on this right side to move it back and forth. Your step cover controls are going to be on this right-hand side over here. So that's another thing, if you don't want your dogs to get down in the step well, or you don't want your feet to dangle without using the footrest, you can. On the right side, you're also going to have a battery disconnect. So this will kill the power inside the coach. And then there's a lock for your baggage doors up here. So, patio light, map light. And then what's cool is the passenger actually has a little workstation that they can use. So if you need to do laptops, games, anything like that, you can utilize that. So we're going to work our way down the right side of this motorhome, and then we'll go to the back and work our way up to the front. So starting here behind this seatbelt, it'll be your first panel. There's a few of them spread throughout this. So that's going to be the controls for a lot of your lights, and then any of them that have high and low, you could do, it's used for dimming the lights. So the next spot, you're going to see your couch. So you could seat 3 people here comfortably. There's actually 2 seat belts mounted underneath that, and it doubles as a bed. So we're going to demonstrate that. You just want to put the cushions wherever so they're out of the way. So this one, you're going to grab it in the center. There's a little safety clip on the right side. Make sure you keep your fingers out of the way of it. Let it out. Flip that over. And there's your bed. So it is an air mattress, so you can blow it up and choose the firmness or the softness, depending on what you like. You can sleep 2 adults comfortably on that. So this coach can actually sleep 4 people if need be. So above this couch, you're actually going to have your television, and then you'll also have the day and night shades. So I have the day shades down just to help with the camera lighting, and then you have night shades for whenever you want to set it up to go to bed and not have any of that light intrude. So if you want to stay facing that way, you can hit the televator. It is a one-touch up and down, so once it triggers and starts going up, you don't have to sit there and hold the button. So that makes a little bit difference and a little bit more convenient. Above the couch, you'll have 2 storage compartments, 1 on each side. And then in the center, you'll actually have the little AV cabinet. So there's outlets tied here, HDMI, dish network prep. So if you want to tie in DVD player, there's a Blu-ray player already here, or the Wally for dish. It's already set up, hooked up to the back of the TV. And above that, you'll have the Bose soundbar that's also hooked up to the TV. We're going to move off to the right. You'll have your dinette. So this dinette does pull out a little bit more to have more extension. You do have the 2 solid chairs that are here, and then underneath the bed in the back there is 2 folding chairs. So if you want to bring some guests, you can have that additional seating, or you could take the chairs and leave them at home if it's just going to be a couple the majority of the time. And then you'll have little storage compartments. And these shelves are adjustable. All right, so we're gonna work our way back. So next stop is the half bathroom. So going in here, it's actually a pretty spacious bathroom for the size. You're gonna have the sweep for your central vacuum system in here, and then right outside the door, you'll have the hose attachment area. While you're in here, you do have a bowl sink. You do have a small countertop in here, so you could still put some stuff. And then you'll have one of your 3 max air fan controls. So both of the toilets in this unit are electric flush toilets, so you can add water to them and you can flush it with the push of a button instead of having the little foot pedal. There is large amounts of storage in this small bathroom. And then the cabinets above the toilet, you'll have your breakers for the coach. You'll have fuses with a fuse diagram, so everything's labeled up there, tells you where you're going. And then you'll have the brains for the KIB system. So on the wall here, you can actually see the controls for the Max Air. So this one will be for the kitchen, there's one in there for the bathroom, and then there's one in for the rear bathroom. So now we're gonna open the last slide in here. So this is a 3-slide unit. It has a kitchen slide, or living room slide, a bed slide, and then a full wall slide. They do utilize pocket doors to separate the areas. So you'll have this pocket door, it's got 2 pieces in it. There is a little gap at the top and bottom, so you still get airflow, keeps the room from getting stuffy, and just helps with distributing the air. So this one does have a king bed in it. Underneath the bed, you do have storage. So you'll have the 2 chairs we talked about earlier. Those are the folding ones. This hoses for the central vacuum and all its attachments. And then on this right side, you'll have more storage as well as the pump for the sleep number bed that this comes with. On the left over here, you'll have 2 speakers. So what those go to is the speakers that are above the bed. So if you're one that likes music in here, you can actually have it, keep the ambiance going. You'll have day and night shades and opening windows on both sides of the bed. So if you're one that wants that cross ventilation, you can have that. You'll have cabinets above the bed. It is one big long cabinet, so you can actually open it and put larger items if you need to. There's an outlet with 2 holes already drilled in, so if you need to put a CPAP up here, you can. So we'll work our way to the back bathroom. Back here you have another electric toilet. You'll also have the door for the egress. So it has 2 locks on it to help keep it closed, and then there's a ladder built in behind this panel. So you just pop that panel off. It's held by magnets. Drop the ladder down and it's much easier to get out than an emergency exit window, and you can actually get a lot closer to the ground. In this cabinet here, you're gonna have a stackable washer and dryer. So that's nice to have, keep you from going to the laundromat, especially on your longer trips. You'll have a single sink back here. You're gonna have the solid surface countertops, and it has a lot of space around it, so you can put a lot of things there. The mirror up here is split, and then you do have 2 deep shelves up here, so you can put a lot of stuff back there. Below it, you'll have more storage. And in the corner, you have a closet with hanging as well as your safe. And they actually use an L-shaped cabinet in there just to make it that much easier to get stuff in and out. You do have a radius shower in here. So it's pretty large. I'd say it's a lot bigger than any of the ones that you'll find in towables or other stuff that use radius showers. You do have a lot of room in here. I'm 5'10", and I can touch the skylight with my fingers. And so even your taller people will have a lot more room in here. So you do have an adjustable side over here and then the fixed one here. They built in a little nook just for storing some stuff. And then it has the seat, as well as it's equipped with a shower miser. So what that does is you rotate this valve, and while water is heating up, it'll keep pumping it back into the fresh tank, so you're not filling up your gray or wasting your fresh water if you're doing some dry camping. So what that does is it'll wait until all the hot water is here. This will change colors. You'll know the hot water is there. You rotate the valve back, and then it'll start pouring out of the shower, and you know it's hot water without, you got to heat up your water without wasting a bunch. You'll have another pocket door in the bathroom. So we'll start off at the left side. Newmar actually puts a nice big large smoked mirror there. So it makes the room feel a little bit bigger, but it's also that tinted glass, so it's not super bright. And it's also good for getting ready. One more hanging wardrobe in here. Down below you'll have 2 drawers. So this one has a full extension as well, just to come out past the drawer, make it a little easier to get stuff in and out. You'll have 5 total drawers back here, as well as one of them that has a glass face. So that's going to be the little AV cabinet for back here. So they utilize the glass front so you don't have to have those infrared sensors and the wires running out, just to make sure things can see. It's going to have the HDMI, Blu-ray, and everything plumbed back here to the back of the TV, just to make it that much easier to set things up. And then back here you'll have one more closet. So Jody, if you want to go back into the closet, there's going to be a data tag right there. What that's going to have is a lot of the components that are in this coach, as well as model and serial numbers. So if you ever need to get replacement parts, or you need to know what's in here, you can use that information. All right. So we're going to go into the kitchen next. You do have a pantry. It has 6 pull-out drawers, and they do pull all the way out. And then there is a pantry lock button at the top, so it does lock it in place while you're driving, so you don't have to worry about it popping open. The fridge. So it's a 2-door residential fridge, and then you also have the big drawer for the freezer. There is an ice maker built in, so this will be the ice drawer and then freezer down below. It does have a water filter included in it, and you do have water in the fridge, and then it does have a travel lock. So you just rotate that to the left, and then it locks it for travel. Your next part of the kitchen, we'll start up. You'll have a convection microwave, so you utilize it just like you would a convection oven. You'll just turn it on, set the temperature, and then it operates like an oven. You'll have cutting boards built into the solid surface covers for the induction cooktop, so don't be afraid to use these. That's what they're meant there for. We get a lot of motorhomes in where people don't even use them. The induction cooktop, it's true induction, so anything that a magnet will stick to, you can use that as the pan, or you can buy specific induction pans if you're looking for a new set. It does come out, and you just unplug it, and you can take it in and out, in and outside, so if you're not one that likes to do cooking in your motorhome. Down below it, it does have 3 drawers. Those are the pieces for the convection microwave, like the oven rack. All the drawers do have soft close, so it gives it a lot more residential feel. Next, you'll have a couple more drawers. You'll have 2 sponge holders. or spacious, depending on what you want to put in there. And then you'll have a cabinet that you can access from both sides. So it's a little deeper here and then a little higher up there, and you do have some separation if you don't want things sloshing between them, but you can reach from both sides depending on how much you fill them up. You're gonna have a stainless steel split sink in this, as well as more covers for it, just to give you that much more prep space. So some people like to rinse and then dry, or soak and rinse, however you wanna do it. Some people still like the split sink, so this one has it. You do have a residential sprayer. You have a couple cabinets up here. So this is kind of an important one. It's gonna have your weights for the motorhome. It's gonna have your chassis, your VIN, your engine model codes, the wheelbase, all of that information in here. As well as you'll have a phone number to get some help on it, and all your original factory paint codes. So if you ever need samples made, touch-up paint, or get any body damage repaired, they can use these codes to get close to an exact match for your paint. And then here's those two storage. You do have a couple cabinets in the living room in this one. So they are extremely deep, so you can put larger items in there or just a bunch of stuff depending on what you want to put. This one's the original owner's manuals, so Newmar gives you plenty of information from the factory, and this customer actually left them for us, so it's going to be super helpful for the next owner. So we'll go behind this window. You can actually see the awning outside, so you'll see how much light it actually blocks out. And then Newmar actually utilizes dual pane frameless windows, so they actually tilt out. That way you can have them open when it's raining and things like that, so you can still get fresh air without worrying about getting the inside of your coach wet. So this is the televator controls that you saw me use earlier, and then you have another one of those KIB panels right here. So these are two recliners. They are manual recliners, so you'll just pop them out. They're not mounted to the slide room floor, so you can actually move them around wherever you want inside the coach, whatever's comfortable for you if you need to make more space to lay down. In between them, you actually have a little shelf. It's made of the same material as the countertops for the kitchen and the bathroom, so don't be afraid to set your drinks on it. But if you don't want to, you still get built-in cup holders. And then one really deep drawer, so you could fit some small blankets in there, snacks, remotes, whatever you want to put in there. All right, so the last thing that we're going to go over is just some of the chassis stuff up front, give you an idea what's up here and what you can control. Let's see. So over here, we'll start off on the right. You're gonna have your radio controls, and then it also have your navigation in them. So one thing that's cool about ones that come from the factory with navigation is you can actually program your height and weight in there, and it'll make sure it takes you places that you can go, and you'll never have to worry about like a low bridge or anything of that nature. Your cameras, you can go through your right, rear, and left camera. With this, down below, you'll have your visor and your shade. So your visor is actually going to be what's down currently. That's just like a sun visor in a car. And then the shade is actually going to be used for your blackout. So next to those, you'll have overhead fans. That's going to be for defrosting the windshield. You do have high, medium, and low as far as your engine brake. And then here's one of the ways to start your generator. And then high, medium, and low as far as your front fans. Down below that, you do have a wireless charging pad. Then you're going to have your AC controls. You'll have USB, a 12-volt socket, and then an entry door lock over here. And then you'll have a little small spot for storing things. So your keys and your parking brake are going to be next to your right leg. So some places are different. These are right next to each other, so it's kind of easy to remember to put it in park before you turn it off, so you don't have someone, you don't leave it rolling. There's a left pedal over here to adjust your steering wheel, so you can move it a couple different ways, up, down, and tilt it forward and back. Freightliner does utilize a digital dash, I believe 2020 and later. So you could go through that. You can control the menu all with this left side. You can get a lot of different things in here. You can choose what gauges are visible. You can set your trip control or set your trips, see your fuel economy, the vehicle diagnostics, and then there's one for adjusting the steering effort. So Newmars are actually equipped with a feature called Comfort Drive. So what that does is it makes it very easy to steer the motorhomes, and it always tries to bring the steering wheel back to the center. So you can adjust this, how tight it is or how loose it is, and depending if you're trying to back in or maneuver easily, it makes the steering wheel much easier to turn, and it also helps with driving on windy days, so you're not white knuckling it while you're driving. It just makes it a little bit more comfortable where you can throw your armrests down and do a lot of like the two-finger driving, just to make sure you're enjoying the drive instead of being intimidated by the motorhome. The right side over here, you're going to be able to choose your different exhaust brake control, your exhaust brake, so you can do high, medium, and low right here, as well as when you want to switch it to manual and automatic, you'd push the button in and then utilize it as a paddle shifter. Drive, neutral, and reverse are just rotating the dial. So they put this over here just to get make it a little more user-friendly and get rid of that pad that was on the left that you'd have to feel around for just to see if you're in the right gears or switching things while you're driving. This right spot on the steering wheel is going to be for your hands-free as well as your cruise control settings. On the left, you'll have your light controls. This one is actually equipped with a battery boost. You can actually boost the house batteries or the chassis batteries, depending on if one's low or the other, one's dead. You can link both battery systems. That way, you're less likely of a chance of getting stranded somewhere or be without power. You do have electric mirror controls. So the top red button is going to be for heated mirrors. And then down below it, you'll choose left, right, and then you can move the mirror around. And it's going to be for the top mirror, not the bottom mirror, because the bottom mirror doesn't have to get adjusted that much depending on the height of the driver and passenger if they ever switch. You do have an air horn equipped on this one since it's a diesel. And then you also have your tag dump. It can be set to auto, disable, or manual. And again, that's what we were talking about with the tire scrub earlier. And then the last thing up here is going to be your leveling system. So it's equalizer. It's as simple as hitting power, hitting auto level. It's gonna bring down those hydraulic jacks that we talked about, and it's gonna firmly plant them onto the ground. That way it's just that much more stable when you're set up at your campsite and not getting that boat feeling as you walk around. But that looks like it's about it for this one. So today we went over a 2020 Newmar Ventana 4002. We do have this one still available. If you want more information on it, you can contact me directly. It's Justin Rogers. My cell phone's 404-936-6215, and my email is justin.rogers@transwest.com. So let me know what you think. If you need anything else, just let me know.